Sometimes life is hectic. Choosing a mortgage lender should...
All right.
Welcome to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight. I'm Catherine Nero, and alongside, as always, the wonderful, the talented Jeremy Schrand, Marketing and Communications Director for the Northern Kentucky Chamber.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. We want to thank, first off, our sponsors, our title sponsor, CVG, and our studio sponsor, the L&N Federal Credit Union. And once again, trying to top last week, we have another cast of thousands, do we not, Jeremy,
Yes.
on the show today?
We want
Covering
to
all kinds
share
of
the
things.
love. Get as many people on here as we can. Yeah, so first off, our first guest, we got some group of people from Viability. They are the affinity partner of the Chamber, and it's Abby, say your last name, Abby. Staff. Melinda Plunkett and Anthony Steele. We're going to be talking to them about what Viability's mission is and how that all works. It's really, really cool. Spoiler alert. Then we got the
But
weekend
stay
review.
tuned for it nonetheless.
Then we got a weekend review. Kristen Baldwin, our VP of Public Affairs and Communications, is going to join us and talk about why we need everybody to vote.
And it seems like a very simple question, but
Yeah.
people aren't getting it. So
Get
we're
out
going to
and
get
vote.
it. Yeah.
And then we got Molly Behrens from Spotted Yeti, and she's going to come in and talk about her cool, awesome, super cool Blink project.
Is it so cool, awesome, and super cool?
Yes,
So
all three.
All of those
All
things
three.
coming your way. But first, we want to thank our sponsor for just a moment here, L&N, and we'll be right back.
Sometimes life is hectic. Choosing a mortgage lender shouldn't be. The L&N 5-5 Mortgage offers competitive rates, no PMI, and up to 100% financing. That's a mortgage that comes with peace of mind. Whether you're purchasing a new home or refinancing, you'll feel right at home with L&N. We're local, trusted, and we'll be here for you even after your closing. Call 800-292-2905 and get started on your 5-5 mortgage. L&N Federal Credit Union. Welcome home.
CVG Airport is the lowest fare airport in the And welcome back to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight. As promised, we're going to talk with the folks from Viability today, which is an office supply company, but that just really scratches the surface. And we're joined by Abby Staff, Melinda Plunkett, and Anthony Steele. Abby, we'll start with you. Tell us, what is Viability and what is its mission?
So like you said, Viability is a local office supply company. We have office, break room, and janitorial supply products. We have over 60,000 products to choose from, so we can be a one-stop shop for any of your office supply needs. But when it comes to our mission, we are a social enterprise for the Cincinnati Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. So when we launched in 2013, it was to fill a need for more professional level jobs for individuals that had careers and then lost their vision later in life.
So obviously this kind of really sets you apart from like your standard Office Depot or Office Max or anything like that.
Yeah, so everyone needs office supplies, but through Viability, you're getting office supplies, but you're really supporting a great mission, providing those employment opportunities, on-job training for those individuals, and supporting the association and all the vision services that we're able to provide.
And so, Melinda and Anthony, let's turn it over to you. What brought each of you to Viability?
So I came to the agency actually as a client for Canaan mobility training, access technology, low vision services, and I learned about the employment side of it. A lot of people don't know that there is this whole new part of CABVI. And a friend of mine had sent a clipping of the rebranding. We were Cincy Site, and then they rebranded to Viability. And so I ultimately just crashed the rebranding. That's really what I did. And at the time, I was looking into getting back into working. I was a nurse for 15 years, and I had to retire that due to hereditary eye disease. And so I was looking forward to get back into work, and I, walked up to Bill Nyer, who's our COO, and I was like, I want a job. And so there was, some interviews and things like that, and they took me in, and part of what we do is training. So I hadn't sat in front of a computer for almost 6 years, and so sitting in front of a computer, just trying to all those things rushing back, and
I wouldn't let her forget it.
He did. He trained me. He did great.
Is that right?
But just getting those communication skills back, those computer skills back, and then also learning how to use the Zoom text is what we do to help us do our work on our computers.
So, Anthony, what's your story about how you came to Viability?
Well, like Mindy, I was also a client very briefly. I've struggled with vision loss pretty much my whole life. As an adult, it's gotten to the point where I was very, very skeptical about going into interviews, because I couldn't see very well. And so you go into some dimly lit office building, and just being in a place you weren't familiar with, it got kind of terrifying for me. So fortunately, a friend of mine that I actually met through the agency suggested apply for a job. And originally, my intention was to apply for the Industries program. That is the factory that CABVI operates and employs about 90 visually impaired people there as well. But didn't really have those level of skills. So I've worked in offices off and on for about 12 years now. So it was a perfect fit, and so I've been 4 years in. Actually, next month.
Excellent.
Awesome. So, you're doing all this great work and you're supporting this great organization. Does this make the customers have to sacrifice the affordability of office supply products?
No, so the great thing about us is we are extremely competitive in our pricing, so you don't have to sacrifice your cost in order to support our mission. We are competitive with even the national chains out there, and we have free next business day delivery, so there really is no downside to purchasing through us. We can compete with anyone out there.
And I just asked that question like I didn't know the answer, but I can attest to it. We were just getting some special paper in for some things we were printing, and you guys were the cheapest price.
We truly appreciate your guys' support.
And also, one thing that we definitely want to mention is if you're a chamber member, you get a discount. So, it's win-win-win.
Absolutely.
It's not just a small business, it's a small business helping people who need it, and also getting good prices. You're right, it's a win for everybody.
It
really
absolutely is.
And our driver is great.
Is that right?
Yes, we do have a
Yes.
delivery guy that we get great compliments on a regular basis. So from customer service to delivery, we're very proud of what we're
Excellent.
doing.
Okay, yeah, so if you want more information about Viability, check them out on the Chamber's website. It's nkychamber.com, and if you click the little member section in the discounts, it'll take you right to their page, and you can sign up.
Absolutely.
All right.
Now we get the big question
yes,
of the month, right?
Question of the month. We've only got it for this week and next week.
Okay.
But, so, what is your favorite product that is made in Northern Kentucky? We can expand it to Kentucky if you can't pick a Northern Kentucky product, but...
I'm
Abby, go first.
expanding to Lexington because I gotta support Jif peanut butter.
Oh, yeah.
Use it every day basically, so that is gonna be mine.
I think we had somebody else.
I do too. Yeah,
really?
a lot of love for Jif. What about you guys? Favorite
Not
product
to be
in
confused
Kentucky
with
and Northern
Jif
Kentucky?
peanut butter.
I too had to expand it. Not my favorite, but I chose Uncrustables. Apparently, they're
This is a theme, yes, apparently so,
because,
yeah.
We eat a lot of peanut butter and
they're not
jelly
my
at the
favorite.
office.
They're not my favorite, but spoiler alert, this is gonna be crazy, but I don't like peanut butter and jelly. But I do like Uncrustables.
Well, there you
Gotta
go.
kind of
I'm
do
bringing you
shout out
over
to
to the other side. Well, Linda, what about you?
So mine's odd. I do not ingest this, but it's Dinovite for my cats.
I hope you don't.
No, I don't, but it is. I had a cat who was very sick, and we just started giving him that, and he is completely different.
How interesting.
Yeah, so.
Well, that's a first.
I know.
That is a
Wow.
first. There you go. All right, thank you guys so much, and congratulations on all that Viability is doing.
Thank you very much.
And we've got a lot coming your way, lots of headlines from this week, so stick with us. We'll be right back with the Business Week in Review. CVG Airport is the lowest fare airport in the tri-state region with 54 nonstop flights and direct international service to 7 destinations, including Paris, France, and now home to both DHL's and Amazon's global cargo hubs. The airport is furthering its position as leader in aviation and is deeply committed to being an economic driver for the community. You can learn more and start your next adventure at cvgairport.com. Welcome back to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight. And as we talk about our Business Week in Review, we are starting this week the same way we started last week. It is that important.
And we'll start the same way next week, too.
Are we? Excellent.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep it going. Until Election Day, we're talking about voting. Vote NKY specifically, and our special guest this time around, Kristen Baldwin, the Vice President of Public Affairs and Communications for the Northern Kentucky Chamber, is here. And it's because we just want people to vote for whomever they want. But Kristen, let's start with the most basic question. Why? Why is it important to get out and vote?
Your vote matters. Absolutely. Your vote matters. Every vote matters here in Northern Kentucky specifically. We have a horrible voter turnout in our region. We are ranked amongst the lowest in the state of Kentucky, which is unbelievable to me. When I moved up here a couple years ago, it's hard to believe at some voting, some election days we've gone as low as 9% have come out and vote. 9%. So last time around we were, I think, 107th out of 120 counties, which is pretty pitiful for us in our region. So when people don't vote, it appears that our citizens don't matter and they don't care about what's going on. So as our dollars, our tax dollars go to Frankfort, we don't appear to them coming back to Northern Kentucky. So we want to make sure that we turn out to the polls and make sure our voices are heard, and we are a very strong part of the entire state.
You know, it's one of those things where and it goes for anyone, but specifically this area of Kentucky, we complain about, oh, we don't have this, we need that, we need more attention, we need more tax dollars, whatever it is.
Right.
Until those votes are there, politicians and beyond are not going to listen.
They're not going to come to our region. They're not going to care. They're not going to talk to us because we don't show up at the polls. And so it always goes back to making sure you turn out and vote. So very, very important to get out.
Tell us about Vote NKY.
So votenky.com is a new website we've created, a very nonpartisan nonpartisan website that we created to try to answer all your questions related to voting. So votenky.com has all of the voter information, our new handy-dandy election guide that we have created.
This is nice.
Has
And this
all
is a
your
big election. I mean, it really is. This really
For
is.
those of you listening to the podcast,
Yes.
be sure to check out the Chamber's website. We have it on our publications page, so you can go there and download it if you want to get all the details, or you can go to
votenky.com. We are answering important questions here, Catherine, with, for example, what is the auditor of the state of Kentucky? What do they do? Why are you voting? Why are you voting for the agriculture commissioner? This handy-dandy voter's guide answers those questions for you. So
How about that?
we're excited about that. To parlay off of your guest last week for the kids voting, we're trying to encourage everybody to get out and vote. Bring your kids with you, as Carrie talked about last week. There should be some good examples of that one. All the schools, local public schools, will be closed on Tuesday. So if you're talking about why your kids are off of school, it's because you need to go out and vote that day.
So, in addition to that, next week, this is the big one, for those people who want to hear from the gubernatorial candidates themselves, there's a debate.
There is a debate at NKU on Tuesday, October 29th from 7 to 8 p.m. NKU alumnus Cherie Palello with WLWT News Anchor will be moderating. It's the last debate before Election Day on November 5th. So watch live on WLWT, or there is going to be a live audience. If you would like to come down to NKU Student Union Ballroom, we will welcome you to come on down.
it will fill up quick.
Oh, yeah.
Get there early. It's going to fill up.
Doors open at 5 p.m. You must be in your seat ready to roll at 6:30. But Election Day, November 5th, if I can say that again, Election Day is November 5th. Absentee ballots are open and available. If you are not going to be in town November 5th, you are able to vote today, over the weekend, in person at your various voting places.
I looked up all the reasons you can vote absentee, in-person absentee, which some of them, I gotta be honest, are kind of interesting. But here we go. So if you are older, disabled or sick, military dependents, or you're an overseas citizen, if you're a student who lives out of the county, and that could be a lot of folks, kids in college. If you are pregnant but only in your third trimester,
the second trimester.
don't try to mess with the second trimester. Yes, but so if you don't want to deal with what we hope are crowds on November 5th, you can go this route. It is open as of this past Monday. So we're
And
good
more
to go.
importantly, if you are Ben Gastrite and you are traveling to Vegas, or to LA, and be not here, he can vote this weekend.
There you go.
No
See, how
pressure,
about
Ben.
that?
But let's make sure you get your vote in before you
There you
head
have it.
downtown.
Vote counted.
Ben's the brains behind the operation, behind the camera there.
His,
So.
his vote counts. You say you already voted?
That's right.
Good
You
man.
voted. Excellent work. Excellent
man.
work. Okay, there's also more big news happening in the great Northern Kentucky. Let's start with Gallatin County. The airport there, we've told you about, it broke ground. Now, it's going to be a while before there are planes coming in and out of there, but it is the 58th airport in the state. The governor was there. This will serve Louisville and Northern Kentucky and also Sparta during those
Speedway.
big
Yep.
Speedway weekends. It'll open for some traffic in about 3 years, they're saying.
Wow. Speaking of airports,
Yes.
CVG opens their new Escape Lounge. When I first read this, I thought it was like an escape game thing they were trying to
I did too, but
But
it looks way better.
It's way cooler than that. It's all inclusive. They got all kinds of really good food, high-speed Wi-Fi. It's common use, so you don't have to have a membership like the Delta Club or any of those other places in there. It's in Concourse B, and it's $45 at the door. And if you reserve online, you get $5 off. And and it's free for Amex Platinum members, so it kind of almost works like the Delta thing a little
Yeah,
bit.
exactly. So if you have the Amex Platinum, first of all, congratulations. But also, you get up to 3 guests every time, and it's all like food and drink of all sorts.
I know.
It might just be a place to go hang out, or I don't know, do a podcast, Jeremy. Let's think about it.
Ooh. All right, I'm
Hold
climbing
on,
in
make
there.
that note.
Yeah.
While you do that, I'll talk about this
Well,
next
and
one.
I'm going on a trip soon, so
There you
I might
go.
have to check it out.
That's what we call field research.
Yes.
And also tax deductible at that point, because then it's actual work. I didn't say that out loud. Okay, hey, household waste collection. And I know that's a headline. You're like, what? I'm telling you, if you've got those 47 cans of paint in your
I know,
garage,
I know.
this is your chance. Actually, you only can take 10. But nonetheless, November 2nd at UC Health Stadium, home of the Florence, whatever they're going to be called, if you are a resident of Kenton, Boone, or Campbell counties, you may take all of your stuff, and there are some very specific regulations. So you want to check the website, which is nkyhhw.com. I mean, paint cans, light bulbs, TVs up to 2 per car. Those, by the way, if you try to take a TV back to like Best Buy, they charge you $25 to recycle it.
Yeah,
An old style TV. So keep that in mind. This will all be free. It's a really good opportunity to get rid of
There
your
are long
stuff.
lines. I've
Yes.
done it 2 years in a row. There
Yes.
are long lines. Be patient.
This
but,
is so worth it.
They're
So
they're
worth
very
it.
efficient, but great use.
Absolutely. And then there's a couple of events that you wanted to
Yes,
point out,
there's
Jeremy.
some chamber members that are having some great events. The Evening of Hope to benefit kids experiencing homelessness. That's put on by it's at NKU, but it's also put on with United Way of Greater
And
Cincinnati.
like every school system in Northern Kentucky
yes,
too.
it's a lot of people. It's a really really good cause. So get out there and check that event out. It's on November 19th. It's only $8, so you should really try to get there. And then also Hotel Covington's annual Halloween party is back, and it's Area 51 theme this year. They had a really funny
Nice.
thing about storming the party or stuff on their social media. It's great. It's $15 or $20 at the door. It's and that is this weekend on Saturday.
Okay.
And then this week, the Women's Initiative Summit happened on Tuesday. It was super well attended, pretty much sold out. It was really great. We had a lot of social media traffic. Everybody was obsessed with how good it was. So
No pressure for them to top it next year.
Well,
they're
That's right.
they're 6th one, so we'll see if they can get any better.
But you don't have to wait till next year
Right.
because the annual breakfast is coming up. And the
There you
annual
have it.
breakfast, the summit is specifically for women, but the annual breakfast is for everyone.
Okay.
And they've got a really awesome speaker in Christy Nelson. She's got an amazing story. Everyone's going to probably need to bring some extra tissues, but that is going to be on January 14th.
Okay.
So I know sometimes when you get into the holiday season, you forget about stuff, and then all of a sudden it's there. It will sell out as well. Then we've had a ton of ribbon cuttings over the past few weeks, which is a really good sign that our economy
it
is
is.
doing really well. Fairfield Inn in Florence, Go Pantry, DHL has a new St. Elizabeth clinic opening, CareNet pregnancy clinic open. Entervise was this morning, and then we had Best Way Disposal today. They opened up a new Boone County facility where they're going to actually bring all the garbage from Boone County, set it there, and then fill it all into one truck so they don't have to drive all the garbage trucks. So it's going to save on fuel.
Oh,
and,
interesting.
And be better for the environment. And they keep coming. We've got more coming next week, so we'll be talking about them again then.
The laundry list continues.
Yep. And then upcoming events for next week, we've got the Women's Initiative Connect Hour. So it's not as grand as the summit, but it's a really great way.
Maybe that's better
place
for some
women.
people than
Yeah.
one-on-one
Yep,
conversations.
and you can connect with all kinds of professional women. It's at Zoe Grace Salon. Then for the young professionals in the group, we have the Coffee and Conversations next week on the 29th. That's in the morning here at the Chamber offices. When you get off the elevator on the 3rd floor, we're under a little bit of construction.
Yeah,
so don't get
I
scared.
thought the rapture had come. I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing left out there.
Anyone who's been coming to the Chamber for a long time, you're going to be shocked when
Yeah.
you see what it looks like right now. And then, like we said before, the debate is next Tuesday night. So we'll see you there.
Lots to do and lots to look forward to. Thank you, and stay with us. Kristen, thank you for sticking with us as well. And we'll be talking about a little bit about Blink from Spotted Yeti in just a bit.
Did you know the Northern Kentucky Chamber can help celebrate your business's grand opening, reopening, or new location with a ribbon cutting? To take advantage of this member benefit, contact the Chamber at 859-578-8800 and ask for Lynn Ablin.
Welcome back to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight. As promised, we're going to revisit Blink a little bit. We talked with the folks from Spotted Yeti, Casey Williams, before Blink, and now Molly Behrens is here from Spotted Yeti to talk about how it went. And first of all, I guess, Molly, we should start with, if we have been living under a rock somewhere, tell us.
Or if you're not from the
Or if
area
you're not from here,
and you're
that's
thinking about
true.
moving to Northern Kentucky and you
Great
Googled
point.
it, Northern Kentucky Spotlight came up, and you're listening
I
to
like
it.
how you're really thinking this through in the Google
Yeah.
searches.
Inclusive.
Jeremy.
We're being
That's
inclusive.
a great point. Tell us what Blink is and how you guys were a part of it.
Absolutely. So Blink is a light-based arts installation. It is being promoted as one of the largest festivals of its kind in the nation. It returned to Cincinnati a couple weeks ago. It was here October 10th through 13th. And this year it expanded to 30 blocks. So it was in the Findlay Market region, all the way through downtown, the Banks, over the Roebling Bridge this year, and into Covington. And it surrounded all things light and art. So there were new murals installed from international artists, local artists. There were art installations, there was a parade, and then there was also projection mapping. And my company, Spied Yeti Media, served as one of the projection mapping artists.
Yeah, 1.2 million people checking it out.
Pretty good audience, isn't it?
You're probably right with that rock comment. So how did you guys get involved with Blink?
Well, my team at Spied Yeti is very involved in the Covington and Northern Kentucky community. I serve on the board for Renaissance Covington, and we had heard very early on that there were rumors of them coming to Covington. So we immediately reached out to one of the event producers, Brave Berlin, and asked how could we get involved.
And so tell us about your installation. It was called Humanity. And I will say, I feel like I saw on social media the Spotted Yeti installation probably more than any other one.
That blows my mind. Thank you.
But
so
it is,
much.
though. It was so interesting. So tell us about the concept behind it.
Sure. So we were assigned the Freedom Center as part of the Artist Award. We didn't know what building we would be assigned, but we were given the Freedom Center. And so we approached our project as if we would any video marketing project. So we had many creative brainstorming sessions. We found out we were awarded an artist installation in July, so we had about a month to put together our concept.
Wow.
Our team narrowed it down rather quickly, but then picking that final say was a little bit harder. But we kept coming back to this idea that we were on the Freedom Center, and we just couldn't ignore that. So one of our major objectives was to have a narrative with our installation. Our wall, if you look at it, is massive, and there weren't as many architectural elements as some of the other installation walls where you can do fun effects with outlying windows or some of the historical context of the building. So we really strive to tell a narrative and have a theme to our installation. But you still have to consider your target audience for that. This is a family-friendly event. It has to be very visually engaging. There weren't elements like sound like we're used to. It's also played on a loop, so people could walk in at 30 seconds or 5 minutes into the loop.
That's a great point, yeah.
Making sure that when you walk in, you still were able to take in the high-level theme and narrative, but not be super in-depth. So there were still those storytelling, traditional audience evaluations and things that we do in our everyday marketing.
So for those of you who are watching us live on Facebook, we're going to play it for you now so you can watch it. Okay. So if you want to check out the full piece, you can check it out on Spotted Yeti's Facebook page. So go visit that. And I was watching the whole thing. Like if you were there, maybe you only saw a few seconds of it. So you should definitely go and watch the whole video in its entirety. But was it intimidating to know that you were going to be on one of the most famous buildings downtown with all those people seeing your work?
It was very intimidating. It was also very humbling. That first night we actually got to see it live, and just to observe everybody else watching it as we were was amazing. I'm super proud of my team and incredibly excited to have been part of it.
What I think people who went to go see Blink were amazed by it, as they were the first time, as they were with Luminosity before that. But what did you guys learn from the experience? Because like you said, you guys do this sort of thing all the time, but this is on a vastly different scale.
I think we learned some technical things that I think probably, the majority of audience wouldn't know, but just little things we pick up on from the technical side of projection mapping. For example, we had a wing that was much more intense in color because of the throw of projectors versus our main wall, so compensating for that a little bit. But one of our big learnings that we were really excited about was I think we took a risk with including that narrative element and telling a bit more of a story, and we included some nostalgic Cincinnati elements, but we didn't want it presented in this normal Cincinnati skyline fashion, so we put Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati all in the same scene, and it seemed to really resonate with people. So that was a risk that we took that I'm hearing very positive feedback on.
Good.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I love the fact that we had a Northern Kentucky company on the other side of the river doing really great things. But we're one region, and the river is just water.
That's right. So some people believe. Yeah, you don't need the passport to get across it.
Yeah.
Very true.
Was that surprising to you, considering you were a Covington firm, that you went across the river to do the projection mapping?
We were quite shocked because I'm pretty sure every email I sent trying to be a part of this had Covington in the subject line.
Sure.
But part of it was trying to paint us as one region, so they knew by placing us in Cincinnati, we'd bring our network across the river, and we'd equally be promoting our friends in Covington.
Point.
So
As long as you could get across the bridge.
yeah, there were some hour treks over the bridge.
Yes.
Yeah. Where did you take the inspiration? I mean, we kind of talked about this a little bit. Where did you get your inspiration for your piece?
Sure. So we landed on the concept called Humanity, and it is a journey through light and color that brings us together in a place called home. So we were really, we were on the Freedom Center. We had 2 months to produce it, so we didn't want to do what was done last time, which is very historical in context for the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center. But we did take some inspiration from modern day journeys to freedom, and we essentially wanted to paint our region as a welcoming place. So in the video, you'll see people actually painting iconic buildings in Cincinnati and showing that we can have a say in and influence how our region is perceived.
And I got another set of questions here that I didn't include.
Okay.
Ha-ha!
Go for it.
For you. So, did you get around to any of the other installations? Did you get to walk the whole thing?
Did.
Okay, so besides yours, which one was your favorite?
So, a couple. I thought the one on the C Forward building in Covington was incredibly vibrant,
Yes.
I love
geometric.
That one. Yes.
It was
really popped
very
off their
visually,
building.
yes.
Yeah.
As well as Memorial Hall, some of the buildings that had the murals and could really interact with the content of the murals or the building. I had a good friend that did one on Main Street in OTR, and I'm forgetting the name of the building, but it had the paint sign on it, and it was just really cool.
I really love the London Police one.
The London Policeman in Covington was
That
great.
was so cool. Because
Yeah.
it was just really using that mural.
But you're
and
right,
making it
though.
alive.
What you guys had to deal with and the Freedom Center is beautiful and in its own way. But those old architectural elements that so much of the projection mapping really focused on other installations, you guys didn't have that. You really had to start from scratch. It was really interesting. It's great to watch. Absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
On all of it.
All right, now you get the question of the month.
Okay.
So, what is your favorite product that is made in Northern Kentucky or Kentucky?
So I'd like to give a shout out to a local Covington company and go with Grainwell.
Nice. Yes.
3 Kern sisters who are woodworkers and have created a wonderful shop that is on Pike Street in Covington, and their work is amazing.
It is. I like to say my living room is brought to you by Grainwell. I might need to stop. I need to stop buying stuff there, but absolutely great choice.
No, you don't.
I don't?
Support
Okay,
local.
keep going. All right,
Support local.
I'll do it. Well, that's exactly what we're doing here, is supporting local. And Molly, we thank you for joining us, and thanks to you guys for watching, and to all of our guests today. We have another great week coming your way next week as well. What do we got, Jeremy? Do you have to look it up?
I do have to look it up.
I'll vamp until then.
Yeah, let's talk about the sponsors.
I will, and I will also thank specifically Abby, Melinda, and Anthony from Viability, and Kristen as well, to talk about Vote NKY. Also, our sponsor, as always, CVG, our studio sponsor, L&N Federal Credit Union. And every time we do this, again, the whole goal is to spotlight the great things happening in Northern Kentucky. So thank you for helping us do that. And remember, you can listen to this after the fact on Facebook, and maybe on the podcast we'll add who our guests are for next week. Have I stalled long enough, Jeremy?
You have stalled long enough.
Awesome.
I have found it. So next week we have Pat Frew from the Covington Business Council. He's going to come in and talk about what they've got going on. And then we also have, I can't remember his name right now, but Debbie booked this one. Debbie Ship did. But we're going to talk about the concealed carry laws.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And how they're different from Kentucky to Ohio, and some people that if they cross the river, across that
Could be
little
in
small
trouble.
body of water,
Yes,
and they do
yes.
the Kentucky rules in Ohio, you can get into a lot of trouble. So we're going to kind of give a little bit of an update on that.
That seems very important. All right,
Yes.
we will check in on that. And again, thank you for joining us for the Northern Kentucky Spotlight. And we will see you right back here next week.